I want to thank you for taking a little bit of time and watching this video and your willingness to be a part of the Bethany Families Helping Families Serve-a-thon. You know, I am certain this is going to be such a special event for everyone because we know that as we reach out and we help others, so many times we ourselves are blessed. And you know, there's three main things that I want you to think about. Think about sharing, engaging, and giving. First of all, share your heart, your love for Bethany, your love for children and adoptive families with folks around you, and tell them how that they can help. And then engage yourself in this great serve-a-thon. Get hands-on with helping people. It makes such a difference to everyone. And then give. Encourage others to give, and give yourself. Give your time, your talents, and your treasure. You know, God Himself is our provider. In fact, He calls Himself Jehovah Jireh. And you know, God could miraculously supply all of our needs overnight. But He chooses to use each of us to fulfill His will and supply each other's needs. The focus of this campaign is just to get personal sponsors that will sponsor you to do acts of service. And all the money raised will go to Bethany's Caring Connection Fund, which makes it possible for families to adopt. During the next few minutes, we're going to explain how the letter campaign works, what your financial goals will be, how we're going to assist you throughout the whole process, and why people still give, even in uncertain times.
Here's the way this works. Step 1. Make a list of 20 people or more who you have a personal relationship with. They can live anywhere in the country. The best sources are your Christmas card list and church directory. It's very important that you send letters to personal friends and family because people give to people. It's all based on relationship. Step 2. Register by phone or online to participate, and we'll send you a fundraising packet. Or send an electronic invitation to your friends and family. Step 3. Sign, address, and mail a sponsorship appeal letter to each person on your list, along with a self-addressed envelope to Bethany. We also recommend having each of your children sign every letter, each with a different colored felt pen. Be sure to add a personal note in the signature area to personalize the letter. We encourage you to pray over your letters with your children for favor and blessing on each person. During this time, you can explain how their letters will help raise money to allow more children to be adopted into loving families. Step 4. A week later, make a simple follow-up phone call. The response rate on the letters alone is around 30%. The response rate with a phone call is almost 90%, 3 times higher. And what do you say? Simply ask if they received your letter, explain how your family is donating time to serve the less fortunate, and thank them for their sponsorship consideration. You don't even have to ask for money. Simply share your heart and thank them for their consideration.
It's really that simple. In fact, it's so simple that even a rocket scientist can do it.
Well, it's sort of like aerospace engineering. You start with the electromagnetic impulses occurring in the brains of people receiving the request device. Through stimulus inputs in the eye, the brain triggers a reaction that starts here on the chart. From here, there's 2 pathways of processes that can take the brain from here to here. But if it could also go there to here and here to there. And when the brain's electrical flux capacities are completed, you get this. $1!
I'm sorry, that is really confusing to me. You know, fundraising doesn't have to be that hard. Why don't we ask Misha if he can explain it to us?
I get the sense that you didn't appreciate how the scientific fundraising method involving fluxotron cycle works.
Well, no offense intended, but I was just trying to explain the letter campaign, and it really is that easy and simple.
You mean it's so simple, even a 5th grader could do it?
Well, yes.
Then why don't you have him explain it then, and I'll jump in if you need help. After all, I'm only a rocket scientist, you know.
Misha, I know you're only 5th grader, but I do know that you watch Are You Smarter Than a 5th Grader? So, can you explain why you don't have to be a rocket scientist to raise money?
Sure. All you have to do is take a letter like this, then you have to sign it, and then you have to mail it. That's it.
Whoa, that's way too easy. Want to explain that again?
Sure. All you have to do is get a letter like this, then you have to sign it, and then you have to mail it.
But what about the scientific method and all those confusing things on Dr. Hastings' chart?
It's not about science, it's about people giving to people.
You're right. We're simply asking each family to send out 20 letters and make their best effort at raising $500 each. And you know, if 40 families in each state participated in this campaign, Bethany could raise $1 million for the Caring Connection, and that would make a lot of adoptions possible.
So let me get this straight. You're only asking each family to do 20 letters? How easy is that? You don't even need a degree.
Here are 3 key principles about fundraising. Principle number 1, people give to people. This is one of the most important principles in fundraising, especially during economic hard times. We usually have it backwards and think we must sell the cause before a donor will give. But relationship is far more important than the cause. Because of this, go to your Christmas card and church directories for personal contacts. People anywhere in the country will give to you because of your relationship. Principle number 2, you have to ask to receive. You may be uncomfortable asking, but if you never ask, you'll never receive. So it's important to follow up each letter with a phone call. 30% of the letters will come back by themselves. But if you simply call each person to make sure they received your letter and thank them for their consideration, your response rate should jump to almost 90%. That means you'll raise almost 3 times more money with phone calls. Principle number 3, it's important to ask even during tough times. This is true. Have you ever thought why people give? Most of us give because of this. It feels good. We enjoy helping people, especially people we know and care about. Americans are very generous, and especially during hard times. Potentially the most destructive obstacle facing fundraising in these uncertain times is a mindset that we can't ask anyone to give because times are tough. This is not true. Yes, there needs to be discernment and sensitivity in asking, but there also needs to be confidence and assurance that most people want to give and will give to support you and your children in this very worthy cause. Let's talk briefly about how Americans give during recession times. Here are some encouraging facts about charitable giving during the last 6 recessions. Trend number 1, people with the ability to give actually give more during recessions than during good times. Why? Because they realize the needs are greater and there's an overall readjustment about what's truly important in life. Trend number 2, during recessions, more charitable giving is directed toward life-impacting causes and organizations like ours. Again, as people's priorities adjust away from the less important things of life, their money is directed toward the more important things. Trend number 3, during recessions, the relationship between the donor and the recipient is more important than ever. So far, the greatest impact of the economy has been on people's wealth, not their incomes. This will certainly impact major gifts, which are given out of people's net worths that have been hard hit during the last year. However, the type of giving in your letter campaign is coming out of people's income streams, not net worths. So, as long as people have their jobs, you should feel confident about sending them a letter and giving them an opportunity to experience the pleasure of supporting you or your child in this very worthy cause. The vast majority will say yes and will be truly glad to help. After all, giving feels good.
Hello, my name is Bill Blackwire, and I have the privilege of being the president of Bethany Christian Services. I am so pleased today that I have the opportunity to invite you to participate in an event that Bethany is sponsoring. This event will help thousands of children who do not have families become part of a permanent family. Did you know that over the entire world there are 143 million orphans? Many of these children want to be part of a family, but they can't because the adoptive family does not have the funds available to adopt them. We are doing this project to help families secure the money that they need to complete their adoption. Thousands of families across the nation will be participating in this event. It will result in many children finding permanent, loving, and secure homes. Thank you for considering this opportunity.